Hello friend, this is Arnab Banerjee. It is our third class on design pattern. We already discussed on the basic thing of the design pattern, singleton design pattern completely. If you are new to my channel, then I will request you to go through the all videos that I will already uploaded in my channel. Today we will discuss on the prototype design pattern. So first, what is prototype? Prototype means I am copying something. In the prototype design pattern, what I will do, I will copy an existing object to prepare a new object. Okay. But the question is that why I should apply this method? Because I have option to use the new operator and I am able to create the objects using the new operator. Let me give an example. Suppose I have a small class, name is class 1. It has small numbers of members. It has small number of members, just ID, roll number, name, that's all. My requirement is that I need to create 4 objects of the same class 1, and then I need to write code according to my requirement. Fine. What I will do, I will use the new operator and create the object. So my code will be like obj equal to new class 1. But suppose my class is not a small class, it is a big class. It has many members and some of them are included with heavy processes. In that case, what should I do? Because for this activity, I will need many resources and many CPU time. Because the object is big and the creation of the object is a costly activity. Until now, I have to create the 4 objects parallelly. So what should I do? Which method should I apply? Should I use the new operator to create the object, or else I have another option? In that case, I need to use the prototyping. In that case, I need to apply the prototype design pattern. So what I will do? I will copy an existing object and prepare my new one. Okay. If required, then I will make some changes on my new object, but I will not create the object from the scratch. So now the question is that, is there any method is available that is providing the prototype functionality that I can apply in my prototype, that I can apply for my prototype design pattern? Yes, there are multiple methods are available in the market, but the best is cloning. The clone method is the best method. Though the decision is taken by the business model that which method should be applied, but in general the best method is cloning method. The clone method is the best method. There is an important question for the interview room, that which type of design pattern is the prototype design pattern? The answer is creational design pattern, because we are using this pattern to create the object. Yes, it is right. We are copying the object to prepare a new object, but we are copying the object to prepare a new object. And that is why the design pattern is creational design pattern. The prototype design pattern is very important pattern, and most of the developers are using this pattern to develop their applications. Now the question is that in which situation I should apply this method. First, suppose you are saying that your object is taking so much time to be created. In that case, you should apply the prototype design pattern. Suppose your object creation is very costly activity. In that case, you can apply the prototype design pattern. Suppose you have 2 classes and you should instantiate these classes at the runtime. In that case, you should apply the prototype design pattern. Suppose you have a requirement like you have to write many classes that will represent a particular relation. We have seen the same in polymorphism. In that case, you can apply the prototype design pattern so that the number of classes can be minimum. Suppose your client is not interested to get the information about the creational and representational related information of an object. In that case, you should apply the prototype design pattern. Let me give one example. Suppose you have a requirement to represent an object that is collection of other objects. Okay. And obviously the classes of the objects will maintain a hierarchy. In that case, if you need to create another object of the same classes, what process you should apply? Will you create the object from the scratch? No. In that case, you will use the prototype design pattern and you will copy the existing object and you will prepare your new one. Suppose you have a class named class 1 and there are multiple objects is parallelly running in your application of the same class, and you are seeing the difference between those classes is just like some changes in status. Suppose the class has a member named color and the objects are representing different colors. Someone is representing the orange and some is representing the red. In that case, to create the new objects, you should apply the prototype design pattern. Now question is that which type of object can be copied? Only those objects who are independently capable to be created, be composed and be represented. Only those objects can be copied. So prototype design pattern can be applied on those objects who are independent. So the basic things are discussed. So the basic things are already discussed on the prototype design pattern. Now it is time to code. Let me describe some activities that I am going to do for the coding. The first, I will take an abstract class whose name will be ink. The abstract class will implement the clonable interface because I need to use the clone method. The abstract class will have two members. One is color name and another is paint. Color name is a string member and paint is the function. I will have two child classes extending the ink abstract class. One is blue ink and another is red ink. I will have another class whose name will be store. In the store class, what I will do, I will define a hash map of the ink abstract class, and I will have a get ink method that will return the cloned version of the object. Okay, it will not use the new operator, it will just return the cloned version of the objects. Now we can see the code here. Actually we are defining the first our abstract class and it is ink and it is implementing the clonable interface, and we have two members. One is color name and another is paint. Paint is the method, color name is the string. The two members are available and we are defining the clone method because we are implementing the clonable interface here. So that is all about the abstract class. Now next is we are defining a concrete class blue ink and it is extending the ink abstract class. In the blue ink constructor we are defining the color name as the blue and we are overriding the paint method and we are just going to print the string blue ink added. Okay, so now the next is red ink is a concrete method and it is extending the ink abstract class. In the constructor we are defining the color name as red and we have the paint method and we are overriding the paint method and we are just going to print the red ink added as a string. Now the main thing is that we have a class which is store, and within the store we are just taking a hash map of the ink abstract class, and within a static block we are assigning two map object into the hash map. we have a method named getInk, and its input parameter is color name. It is public static and its return type is ink, so it will return the ink object. Okay, now what I am doing, I am just passing the color name in the get method of the hash map, and we are fetching the object, particular object corresponding the color name. Okay, and we are returning the cloned version of this object, because we are just calling the clone of the ink uh, object. So that is why we are just returning the that is how we are returning the cloned version of the ink object. So now let's see what will happen, because we have another class named prototype, where we are actually going to represent the prototyping. So now we have the methods public static void main, and we are calling the getInk method of the store class and calling the paint method, and it should print the string like blue ink added, red ink added as. So now we are seeing the output. It is okay, blue ink added, red ink added, red ink added and blue ink added. You can write down the code. You just pause the video and write down the code. So now we have seen already the implementation of the prototype design pattern. Now I will move, because I have another important question for you in the interview room. Some interviewers can ask you this question, that how a client connects with the prototype. The answer is registry. Okay, because there are multiple objects copied from one object, that is why the difficulty is in choosing the objects. That is why we are actually using the registry, so that so that for the client it make a easy way to find one object. Okay, so that is why the answer will be the registry. Now I will come to the next point, which is advantages. Okay, the advantages, obviously we know that prototyping is hiding the complexity, the creational logic, the representation logic from the client, and we need not too many subclasses to design that. And obviously we have remove and it is not discussed. Actually we have remove and add functionality. Okay, in the actually we can add and remove the objects at runtime if in case of the prototyping design pattern. Okay, so there is some disadvantages also. Actually, if I am going to hide the complexity of the objects, then we need to hide the concrete classes. That is why this is a negative point, is that the concrete classes also is hidden from the client. And second is, each subclasses should implement the cloning functionality. It is not an easy job, and sometimes it is very tough, because sometimes some objects may not actually uh, accept the copying functionality. In that case, it is very tough to design the cloning functionality. So these are the disadvantages is available in case of prototype design pattern. So that is all about the prototype design pattern, and if you have any question, please send me a comment. And I would like you to request you for the subscribing, because your subscribing will help me to upload more and more videos for you. So thank you for the day. Next I will come tomorrow with the next design pattern, which is factory. Okay, it is also it is a very important design pattern. So next day I will discuss on it. Thank you for the day.